One. Hola, bonjour, and good day, Governor, to you. This is Worldwide Tea. This is the podcast where every single week we recap the entirety of the international spin-offs of RuPaul's Drag Race. And as always, it is me, Evan Sawdey from Pop Matters.
I'm Gregory Ellwood from the playlist, and you can also read me in the LA Times.
And y'all, we are right near the end. We are right near the end. It's all happening. Greg, as we enter we're about to recap episode 9 of season 7 of Drag Race UK. Is there going to be a reunion episode? I don't think so,
No.
but there might be.
There won't even be a bring back my girls anymore. I don't think that's happening either.
Oh,
So
yeah, exactly. Hey, you don't know what's going to happen at DragCon Brazil, all right? Something magical could happen in the ether. They could have 3 queens. We could hear Zahira's experience on it. Who knows? It'll be a whole thing. But yes, everybody, we're near the end of UK, and I was looking up some of the feedback or some of the online discourse right here. You know what? If you think me and Greg have been a little bit negative about the season, I think we're actually summarizing a majority of the sentiment fans have had towards this season. I don't think it's well loved. I don't think it's well liked, even if I were to be real. And the only thing I'll
Evan, I
say
don't know
before,
what you're talking about. I don't know what you're even
you know what I just
suggesting.
found out? You know what I just found out? I found out that Paige and Bones were friends this whole time. I can't believe it.
Who knew?
But most most importantly, though, uh, all I'll say is that when we get to the queens getting ready before the final critiques when they're in the Untuck Lounge, there is no chemistry between these girls in
No.
this final. It's like I kind of really didn't click for me until like I saw that. I'm like, I don't think they hate each other, but I don't think they like each other. I don't think any of these queens like each other. And it very much gives me that same vibe of like, like when we talked about these even number seasons being not great, this is kind of the thing because at the very least with Drag Race 6, Kyron and Lavoie, they had this nice, beautiful
Yeah.
We're the Winner simpatico. You had Cheddar and you had Danny Beard. Like the thing is there was these like groups or at least these, moments that like kind of affected here.
Mm.
I'm not getting shit out of this. I don't know what your thoughts are before we dive into it.
To be honest, I don't think they dislike each other. I feel like, and this does happen, but I feel like it's rare in some seasons. I just don't think they have a lot in common. They
Hmm.
all come from different parts of the country. They all do way different things. Many of them are not in the same like touring social circles. Terrace is a Brighton sort of like local queen down in Brighton. Doesn't sound like she was doing a lot of other gigs outside, but she was known as
Hmm.
a Brighton queen. Elle is super new and very Belfast, and a bunch of the actual contestants, remember she came in, did not know who she was. And then Skrillex is in Manchester or no, north of me, or is she in Brighton? I can't remember where she is,
Oh,
but
I,
she
I I can pull this up. Yeah.
she's not in London. Bones is in London,
Hmm.
and then we're left with who's left? Catrin is not a London queen either.
She's from Wales.
She's from
Yeah.
Wales. So
Yeah.
they're all
Selexa's from Leeds, by the way.
right. And by the way, Leeds is not near London. Like they're not.
Right.
It's funny. There's always been this criticism, like especially on Canada, it's all Toronto Queens or like it's all London Queens and in on UK. It is not that this year, and I just don't think they have a lot in
Hmm.
common. I don't think they dislike each other. I just think it's like you've been work. You know what? They're work colleagues for 3 weeks. It's life. It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
But
But
I
here's the
will
thing.
say. Oh
Oh,
no,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was just
Oh,
gonna
I
say
was going.
when they please, you first.
Oh, I was just going to say that, the one thing to note about this episode is that in this House of Love, we believe that all drag is valid and that no queen ever deserves online hate. And as American entertainment journalists, we may not get every cultural reference and always appreciate corrections. And there's some truly great queens who aren't good at drag race and we love them all the same. That's what I was going to say. Go what you were going to say.
I was going to say I 100% agree with you all this. I will also say if you were listening to this and you've enjoyed any of our coverage and any of our supposed takedown or hate of Drag Race UK and want to hear us do it to other seasons, I'm just kidding. We don't do that. We love all these shows. We would not commit the time if we didn't. Please follow us on Spotify. Please follow us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Put a comment in there. Send suggestions. Tell your friends we are actually dropping within minutes of this episode, the first episode of Drag Race, or sorry, Canada's Drag Race season 7, which is freaking fantastic and gives you hope for the future of Drag Race around the world. Um, we are so excited to be recapping that. And also, we'll have Meet the Queens from US season 7 8 sorry, US season 18, which is on the way. And also there's going to be Drag Race UK versus the World 3, which let me tell you, is going to be the shit shows of shit shows, and you will not believe it. And they're promoting Drag Race Down Under versus the World every other day for a season that might not come for
For
another 5 months. But
it's
we're here.
wild.
It is wild. So much is going
Yeah.
on. There is no
Yeah.
DragCon, but
Hmm.
we are
Except
excited,
in
and
Brazil. Yeah.
except in Brazil, with only 20 queens coming, and one of them is not Lena Galore because she just got booked for Tokyo, so she won't be there. But sorry, this is an aside. Let's talk about this episode, Evan. The
Yeah.
queens come back into the workroom, and
Yes,
this
they
is how
do.
we know that Bones is the front runner because all of a sudden she's gone from never being a talking head for the first 6 episodes to all of a sudden being a very consistent
She is
talking head.
in the fucking edit, baby. Let me tell you. Yes.
And she lets us all know that Bonnie has gone home, and she says we're all a bit gagged. Us too. We're also surprised. Yes, Bones, we agree with you. Ella's upset her Irish sister that she only knew through social media has gone home. And she also thinks it's wild she hasn't lip synced. You know what, Elle? Us too. We think it's really
We
wild you
agree.
haven't lip synced
We really
either.
agree. We really do.
Um, but anyway, any other thoughts of the queens pretending to really care about Bonnie going home as it's down to just five of them and the finale is in their sights, Evan?
Catrin really thought she was going home. She really wasn't sure. I mean, Bonnie has two badges. So, I mean, at that point, it made sense. She was going to go home, so she's surprised she's even here. But I will say, just genuinely, truly, 100% did not predict this was going to be the top five at all. Like, I just, you could kind of say the same with our coverage for España. It's broken up in ways that we've not
Yeah.
suspected on over here. And it's the kind of thing where it's like Bones, I kind of had a feeling was, I mean, genuinely, page three should have been here, let's be real. But Terrace, like Katrin, I could almost see here because again, as we talked about before, she fits in a very specific type. But Celexa, kind of L, genuinely, and like Terrace, I'm like, okay, like this is a kind of a surprise season. But again, things have shaken out very oddly, very strangely over here. Wow, and also I'm looking at it right now. There is not a lot of notes I have for this episode because I'm like,
I
did
do.
really
I've
not
got
a
a
lot
ton.
happen? Right, not a
Uh,
lot happened this episode, y'all. The
no,
dramatic, ooh,
but
collaborating
I'm
on the roast order. Ooh, who
But you
cares?
know what? I'm gonna ramble through this, so just stop
Yes,
me when you're ready. So
yes.
the most important thing is they let us know who the guest judge this week. Her name is Sophie Willand. She is a
Hmm.
three-time BAFTA TV award winner for her
Hmm.
sitcom Alma's Not Normal, which I have never heard of, and I cover television for a living, including television around the world. But I'm sure it's also really good. But this is the more
The
important
hobbies did a
thing.
great job with it. Yeah.
They did, yeah. This is the more important thing, especially for this challenge. She is a stand-up comedy vet, and she has done the Fringe Fest in Edinburgh twice,
She's Bruna
celebrated.
Braga.
Yeah. But what's shocking is when we eventually get to the to the judging and the giving tips to the queens, I thought she was pretty terrible. So it's sort of wild
Hmm.
that they thought they booked someone who was going to help them who really didn't. But more importantly, Rue comes out and we find out that this week's challenge is the Karma is a Bitch comedy roast. And the
Hmm.
eliminated queens, gasp, will get to be there to see the roast and also be roasted. But you know what? I'm glad they come back because it's a paycheck. And that's the most important thing for them. Seriously, it's a paycheck. Um, and then you're right. They basically decide that doesn't Bones and Catrin get to decide who the top Bones gets to decide
They
because
both do.
she
They
won.
both do. They
They
both
both
get to
do.
collaborate as the winning
Right.
queen and winner of the lip sync last week. Collaborate on this five slot order that you get to do.
Yes. Bones wants to go first, and then Catrin wants to go at the end, which is, you know, I mean, sometimes it works actually. Jinx loved going. I think Jinx went at the end like twice and thought it was great,
Hmm.
or once. But this is the order for the comedy roast: Bones, Elle, Skrillex, Taris, and Katrin. And Elle, I remember, is like a little frustrated, like with her placement, but it's going to be okay. Um, and then I don't know if it's during the workroom this day or when they come back the next day. I think they all shot this in one day. Um, Bones says she had a nightmare that Paige shouted at her for sending her home.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because Paige was doing better than you at the time, Bones. and she's your friend and you felt bad. Maybe that's what it is.
Wait, they're
Um,
friends? That's so
yeah.
crazy. I didn't know that.
But before Sophie comes in to give terrible advice, do you have any other thoughts of their discussions and any of this?
Fuck no. I'm sorry.
No?
To be honest, to be like actually real with you right now, I say fuck no because there's like truly nothing going on. But
No.
also, what a bad narrative run that we've had right here. This Tayrus Catrin romance like basically died out a couple episodes ago, or like they mention it as like a categorizational thing, but like it's not like a real issue at this point anymore. They certainly aren't like kissy flirty Vanjie Brooke or anything about it. Like, what other narratives do we have? We have fucking nothing.
I'm really
Like,
curious whether, to be honest, because they are still seeing each other. They have on socials, they're showing it
yeah.
that they're still dating. If they and neither of them have talked about it, and maybe they can't because of the NDA. I'm wondering if they just toned it down themselves on set so that it didn't become a narrative. Like, because the other queens joke about it, but they don't talk about it at all.
Hmm.
And that's the difference between Brooke and Vanjie and Lydia and Corey. They were willing to talk about it. Well, that's not true. Brooke and Vanjie really didn't want to talk about it, but Vanjie would fess up. Corey and Lydia were talking about it in the confessionals. Like they realized, like this is going to keep me in this. Like they were very on it. My
Hmm.
guess is that this is the latter with, sorry, the former with Bones and Catrin is that they sort of shut up. But they are still seeing each other, which is very cute.
Good for
Um,
them. We're very
but
excited. Yeah.
anyway, Sophie comes in, and all I know is her advice was terrible. I was like, how are you a BAFTA award winner? You don't have screen charisma at all. Like, I was sort of like massively disappointed with her as a comedian. As
Let's talk about the imperative advice she gave Bones on there. Sometimes I get a little bit shaky and nervous on there. Have you ever thought about anchoring yourself and holding on to a piece of your body so that you can be remain rigid and firm during this whole time? Wow. Did you do the anchoring during the performance? You know, I really did. It really helped out. Credit to Bones, by the way. MVP Bones for really pushing through and making this narrative fucking happen. Uh
yeah.
by the way, when you were making fun of my shakes later, I didn't really appreciate that altogether. I told you about that in confidence. Like, fuck off,
Oh,
God, dude. It is. This is the bottom of the plot barrel that we have in terms of
yeah.
scraps on here. Anyways, yes, her advice, incredible, lovely,
So
amazing.
great. But I don't even remember if they come into the workroom. All my next note is Rue comes out on the. I actually don't think they do. I think they shot this in one day.
It may have
Uh,
been possible, yeah,
yeah, Rue comes out in the workroom. Oh, sorry, out on the runway, and this dress is fine. It's okay.
yeah.
Like it's nothing remarkable. She sort of toned it down this season. Like usually, the past UK seasons have been super clubby and like this is felt a little more US, a little more like what can I pull out of the drag closet from Bel Air and ship over to London. Um, and she banters with the guest judges, and Sophie is not funny. Like I don't mean to make this the dissing of the guest judge episode, but I was like, why are you here? You're not funny. How are you a three-time BAFTA award winner? What am I missing? Um, but anyway, they come out and the returning queens are all sitting in a row, right up close to the stage. There's no other filler audience. Very COVID like era, like, but it's all good. Um, and what did you think of the roast? Bones was up first, Evan. What did you think of Bones' roast?
Before we get into that, I just need to briefly touch on two of the looks
Sure.
of the returning queens that we have over here. Sally TM in this like yellow painted insane thing where her head's coming through a painting. Lovely, insane, kind of what we expect, but my God, seeing young Bella with these goddamn cartoon animal hands that she has on with rings and stuff the whole day, she doesn't care. She doesn't fucking care. Friend of the pod. She is
Yeah.
iconic. She's legendary. I don't know what goes through her mind. She's lovable and incredible. Absolutely a delight. Uh,
Actually, I forgot she had the best look out of all of them. Like
yes, she did.
she really, the rest of them were doing like basic drag. I'm going to do a meet and greet or I'm doing a drag brunch. Although I think that Sally's look was her makeover look. I think that was the
Oh
look
yeah,
she
yeah,
had.
yeah.
I think she just decided to wear her version of it there. But the rest of them were just like Paige is ready to do a brunch. Uh, Cat, there, yeah, it's all good. And by the way, not mad at it. It was all good. But
At all, at all.
Young Bella totally killed it. But Bones was up first. What did you think of her roast
Well, first she had to
asterisk?
anchor herself. She had to anchor herself.
Yes.
She had to take a big long pause to anchor herself, and then I have notes of what I wrote down for every single queen. I have the most notes for her, genuinely. I thought like some of the lines that got me the most was, in some instances they say she ate and left no crumbs. In Patsy's case, she nibbled and then quickly left. I thought that was on fire. She brought out Liam Gallagher again to try and make that funny for one joke, for one punchline, but she did it. She wanted to show that she could do it. My favorite line from her was talking about some of the other Irish girls who left early, like a classic Irish father figure. You left before things got serious, which
Yes.
was like, boom,
That was good.
punching. But the thing that my overall sense that I got from her was the fact that everyone else in this roast, this is a little bit of a slight spoiler over here. Everyone else, I felt like we're really punching down. And with Bones, I
Yes.
didn't get that sense. With Bones, I'm not sure if it's the sweetness or the way that she approached it, but it never felt like she was taking the piss out of anyone to be mean. Everything she said came from like this very earnest place, and I don't know what the magic is that she was able to do for that, but while everyone else was condescending, she was kind of like found a very good rhythm in which the jokes landed. So I'm not sure if I would even call it the strongest set of the night, but overall, like I was had the most fun with her jokes ultimately. What did you think?
I wrote. She had one joke. I don't remember what this is like the punchline. I can't remember who it was about. She goes, but in the sewing challenge, she seemed stressed, which was I can't remember who it was about, but it was a good line that I wrote. I
I think
wanted
it
to
was
write
about
down.
Viola. Yeah.
It was always about Viola. Yes.
Yeah.
Um. I thought I wrote it was cute, and but that Rue laughed more than I thought she would.
Hmm.
And I thought that was basically because they set it up with this like, oh no, is she gonna bomb it because she's doing this moment of silence? And I almost felt like the edit didn't need it. They could have just had the moment
Hmm.
of silence and just cut to it would have been funnier if they just cut to everyone going like, hey, what's going on? And then just let her keep going and then talked about it later. But they I felt like they screwed up her rhythm in that in here's the thing, I bet in person this was even funnier than it was on the episode because they didn't play with the edit.
They had to do this fucking anchoring bullshit as a way to say that the guest judge they brought in actually provided something. That's like really the only thing I can
Yeah.
think as to why the pause was important to include over there. But overall, like, yeah, she did good. She did better than I
She did
expect.
really
I
good.
will say I didn't think she was gonna win. I thought like, oh, she'll probably be safe for this week. Like that's the sense that I got. But also I hadn't seen the rest of the roast yet.
So speaking of that, I actually was surprised because I am not a massive fan of Elle Vosque, but Elle was up next, and I thought she was quite good. I didn't laugh out loud like guffaw all over anything, but I thought it was smart, and I remember thinking, oh, this feels more like a real roast than what Bones did, and it
Hmm.
made me think she might win.
Hmm.
And that was not the case. And in a rare, strange, like we're changing the narrative for the entire season, when we eventually get to judging, they're a little harsh on her, like in terms of
Hmm.
how they did it. What did you think of Elle's roast?
My biggest thing was that I felt like she was kind of rushed. Like I felt like she
Mm,
just kind of like had to do this thing. Like she had this very professional veneer to what she was doing, so that is unmistakable. But it just felt like she had to just jump to the next joke. But also, it's the kind of thing where, like, to their credit, in Bones' case, like the jokes again felt like they came from a real place. With L's, they came like from a textbook. They came like from the roast by numbers thing. These were kind of things that we'd heard before, and so like they were fine. They were funny enough, I would say. But like I know how in the tank the judging panel is for L. So I was like, okay, well, here's our winner for the week. So to hear that actual feedback of like, you could have gone harder, there could have been a little bit more bite to your jokes. I was like, I mean, that's kind of how I felt. I just didn't think she would ever get this kind of criticism. And this is now her
yeah.
second week in a row of getting not sterling critiques. So I was a little surprised, but yeah, I didn't have a lot of notes. I can even write, I didn't even write down any particular joke that struck me, which I was kind of unusual for me.
But up next was Skrillex, and I can barely remember what Skrillex did, except that she had an awkward moment where she sort of screwed up and looked at her cards again.
Hmm.
But she sort of laughed it off, and I think Rue laughed it off, or maybe Michelle. What would you? take away from Skrillex's roast?
She was a bit hard and it was a bit awkward. Like she had these little moments of just like, huh, gotta look at my cards 1 second. Like smiling, winking over here. She talked about like Bonnie and Clyde after seeing your drag. I wanted to change my name to Sue Ann Seidel, which I was like, okay. Like it's the thing where like inherently there is a good punchline in there. It just when Bianca Del Rio makes a suicide joke about how bad your drag is, that's one thing. Versus this, which felt very forced and awkward. So like there were
Yeah,
laughs from the audience, but the edit seemed to somewhat accurately potentially play into the fact that not everything was landing. The jokes were more, or the laughter was more spread out than it was like there. So yeah.
I agree. And up next, and so this was the weird thing. I actually thought Skrillex could have been in the bottom. I didn't think she was disastrous, but it's only five queens, and I sort of thought like, okay, that was fine. That wasn't great. She could be low. But then Tayrus comes out, and she was sort of mean. Your point about punching down, I thought Tayrus was a little harsh, although her joke about Neon Bella was very funny. I can't remember
Oh
exactly
my
what it was.
God. Yeah.
And I thought
You
that was,
represent blackness in everything that you do. Teeth straight black, toenails straight
yeah.
black. Like it was the
I
thing where it's like that one actually didn't feel too mean because that came from a place of love more
love
genuinely. She also
and
had the oh, go ahead.
and also Nia Bella loved it. Like she thought it was
Yes.
really funny, which is
Yes.
the more important thing. Um,
Yeah.
but no, you were gonna say the one other thing about her.
Her other best line that she had because she didn't have a lot of good ones, but just calling her Beige Three, come on, like that was I
Yes.
thought that was pretty good.
So
So it was
so it
rough
was
because she didn't have her cards. She just did it like freelance, which was
yes.
cool, which I really enjoyed. But it didn't have. There were some really good jokes amidst kind of a sea of like meanness and stuff not landing completely, or at least that's what my take of it was.
Yeah, and I think when we get it, this may have been a rare thing where Rue thought it was so close that the runways was the difference.
Hmm.
And because if you were to just have judged it on this, I still thought Tayrus was funnier, and I would have graded her on a curve for not using the cards to that I would have had her safe, and I would have had we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I would have had Skrillex in the bottom. And
Hmm.
but that wasn't the case, as we will soon find out. But last but not least, Miss Overconfident herself. Oh boy. A very much a I would like to sit down and say, what do you do successfully to Catrin Feelings? Because I do not know anymore after her bombing this challenge. This felt to me like this was supposed to be why they saved her over Bonnie, that they thought she'd do a better roast than Bonnie. By the way, Bonnie would have fucking killed this. Like Bonnie would have
Yes.
and by the way, we talked about this last week. I had my theory that one of the reasons they got rid of Bonnie is because they didn't want another queen going in with more wins than Bones or Elle because they wanted either of them to win. I know it's conspiratorial, but this is how they think. So Evan, what did you think of Katrin's overconfident fluster?
Absolute crash out. It's the thing where genuinely I could see her as someone who is a comedy queen, allegedly, going through and like just like she could see like, okay, so like I'll pause here for the laugh and then I'm gonna wait for this moment here. And like I felt like it was all like pre-planned and then I'm gonna pivot to this bit, whatever. And it's just like everything that could go wrong did. For me, it's the Men in Black 2 theory, where it's like, I'm not sure if you remember the movie Men in Black 2, your favorite movie of all time. What am I saying? Where it's just everything about that movie is just tonally off from the get. And I
Oh,
feel
right.
like if you there was like if you did something in the last 5 minutes with the edit, I think you may have been able to find a way to just like insert people into that world. But because everything was just so off, the audience never got on board. The rest of it just completely falters, and that's exactly what I feel here. She never got on board. She never got the audience on the train station with her. So it's just like I'm going to give all of you these different rocks. It's again, it's clearing your
I,
chakras themed or whatever, and it's just like I'm going to give a diamond to you because you work so hard, even though I know you're coal underneath. To say that to Tayrus, it's like, like
I have to say, with this in España, production is overthinking the roast. Just make it a
yes,
funny roast. Stop with
right.
these themes. Like, I actually felt like Katrin completely overthought it with the
Hmm.
crystals. Like, did not need any of this at all. Just so I wrote it twice. Overthought it. And then it never ended. It felt like they purposely wanted to make you realize she was in the bottom. She didn't have the most screen time, but she had way more than Tayrus and way more than Skrillex. and I was like, oh my God, can this end? Because this is uncomfortable. And you've already made your point. We know she bombed.
No, no, no. She has to do her seance with Bonnie Tyler. That's what she has to
Oh,
do. She has to do that shit. Greg,
these girls are overthinking it, bringing back characters that they think are going to play on TV. I don't know what the story editors are telling them that they were actually funnier, like while they're shooting the show than they were. Like, it's so wild. I mean, anyway, time for the runway. Category
lucky
is,
us.
lucky us, category is English country Garnay? Did I Garden Real Garden.
English
I
country
wrote
garden
Garnay.
realness.
Garden Realness. Uh
Garnier.
Garnier, sorry, it's the French version. Um, Up first is Bones, and she's giving this green, swampy glamour look. But there's little ice cream containers that are like moldy and
Little
have
cupcakes.
cupcakes. Was
Yeah.
that what it was? Cupcakes? I thought it was ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, cupcakes. That might be like attracting flies, and she has like flies sort of going. I thought it was really good. What did you think?
Same. When she came out initially, it was interesting. My husband and I watched this. When it came out initially, I was like, on first look, I'm like, hmm. But husband was like, oh my God. And part of it was the fact that they had to really look into the details of the garment, like to see this strewn moss, to see those little bit of diamond accents that were on there, to see all of the detail that was being added onto the item itself. So to that end, I think it was overall successful. Briefly before we actually recorded this episode, I will say I did look, and I guess Tia Coffee wore this exact outfit. I think she had the cupcakes removed for the Wicked premiere, Wicked for Good in the UK. So I think I'm not sure if it's getting around or whatnot, but like there's photos. It's if it's not the exact same thing, it is a recreation, but it is almost exactly the same thing. It's wild.
Well, I want to go and look and see if it's an off the rack dress she because it doesn't look
Oh,
like it. It
right.
doesn't look like it at all. Or if it's the same designer and
Hmm.
maybe Bones gave it back and they took him, or maybe he made a similar one of the same design for Tia. Now
Yeah.
I'm so
I
curious.
I know. But overall, like on first look, I didn't think much of it, but then over as I kind of sat with them, like, no, 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 this is pretty good. And then once again, as with the rest of this runway, I'm like, I did not see the rest of the runways, so my opinion improved over time.
Uh, yeah. Up next was the one and only. Sorry, I got distracted.
You're good.
Um, Elle Vosque. Okay. First of all, Elle, this is not Linda Evangelista. If I hear you say that one more time, I'm gonna fucking scream. She's doing a 1950s, 1940s sort of, going through the garden look. I thought it was well done. I thought it was professional, but also we've seen this before. We've seen this actually on
Mhm.
UK a number of times before, and I didn't think it really popped. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I'll be honest. As
Oh,
much as I
wow.
am a pure Elle Vosque hater all the way straight through, this tulle black dress is certainly an interesting choice. But the thing I loved about it was that even though she has this floral jacket on, to have this black straight tulle and then there's flowers underneath it, but their flowers are under one very thin layer of tulle, it almost makes it look like a print. And I thought that was a cool effect. Love the hat, and genuinely, and I'm just going to be that guy, I loved her makeup, this particular look, especially that lush red lip,
Yeah.
everything about it. I thought she really did a very good job. And again, Elle Hater right up here, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And she did a great job this week.
I thought her makeup was good again. I felt like I'd seen it before and it was just a
Hmm.
little redundant to me or
Yeah.
reductive, excuse me, is the word I'm looking
Hmm.
for. Up next is Skrillex. So here's the thing. Judges love this look. I don't understand why. I hated the tool. I hated it. I hated the
The
tool
tool wasn't
runaway.
necessary, I think. You
Nope.
can make the argument it was the dirt for the flowers, but it still felt like a completely different element for everything else that was going on.
I thought her holding the rose to the side, sort of as a cane, was distracting from
Hmm.
the rest of the look. She did not need it. And I the one credit I'll give, which she did bring up, is I thought she looked great without the giant breasts. I think I
Hmm.
made that commit a comment maybe on the second episode that she doesn't need these gigantic breasts. Maybe do it for a comedy thing every once in a while. But once again, her makeup's always great. Her hair, her wig is always fantastic. What did you think of Skrillex's look?
Same. It was good. And the thing is that like even this whole like this sleeve that turns into kind of a flower vase thing, we've
Yeah.
seen that kind of thing before. I literally just watched the World Pride Ball on Reverie the other night, and it was
Ah,
sponsored by McDonald's. So a lot of queens came in for the runway category, came in with a lot of the looks, and someone did the exact same thing, but it was a fry basket with fries sticking out. So like this thing has been done before. It was well done, and the fact that she made it herself, I'll give her credit towards. It was good. It wasn't a knockout. She
yeah.
unfortunately she's not Marmalade. Sorry, I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, I agree. We've got two more left, and Terrace was up next. So this was the problem. And this is
The
why she might have
problem.
been. So first of all, I as a dress, as an outfit, as a big sort of like I don't know what we'd call this silhouette. It's just almost like a tart. It's not a
It's
tart,
like a
but
moo almost
it's
again.
like
I
a
hate to keep
muumuu.
using that word, but it's just like this
It,
big flowy, almost bell-shaped
yes,
thing that has does nothing
bell
for her figure. Yeah,
bell shaped. You nailed it. And she's wearing tights and pants,
hmm
sort of with the same
with the
design,
same print and pattern as
same
the dress.
print.
Yeah.
That actually, as a look, I thought it was very good. I loved it as a look. It
Yes.
did not really seem to fit the prompt. It was a bit
At
of a
all.
stretch, and they
Hmm.
called her out on it. And also, when you're doing the walk, when you're giving your commentary, which the judges hear, why would you say you won a ballroom trophy look in this look? You're telling them that you pulled it from the closet and that it's not something that you came up with for the prompt. I understand, like, I'm all for reusable and being environmentally conscious, and I'm sure Rue and Michelle and was it Alan this week? Or was it
Yeah,
Graham?
it was Alan this
It was
week. It was
Alan.
Alan. Yeah.
I'm sure they all appreciated it too, but why tell them that? Like, you're basically like asking them to like cut your Achilles. Like, I I didn't understand that at all.
The
I wrote in all
sunglasses.
caps, why tell the judges this?
Yeah. This also she had these like lemon styled sunglasses that were on her because it's all lemon print.
Yeah.
She describes herself as Beyonce, but the problem is that when you have these sunglasses over here, you're on stage, so you have to have them up so they can see your eyes during the edit, and then for
Hmm.
all the critique. So we actually never see them down on you. So why even have them as accessory?
Yeah.
Either commit to them and actually have them fucking on, or just don't leave them on the top of your forehead. That was just so inexplicable to me. But yes, I wrote down Lemonade Moo Beyonce, and we will never discuss this look again. So yeah.
I will say from the infamous season 17, sorry, it's not season 17, season 7 um, ugly dress category. This would
Mhm.
have been something someone thought was an ugly dress, but like Miss Fame, it's actually quite beautiful. Um, Up next, last but not least, is Catrin Feelings. And here's the thing, I actually liked the proportions on her.
Uh-huh.
I thought it gave her like the most sexy, like
Figure.
svelte figure that I've seen
Yeah.
her the entire season. My problem was the gray skirt. That gray was terrible, and then that shade of puke green. Whoever picked the design of this was like if you just saw this look in black and white, you might have gone, "Oh, that's really nice." But in this context, I actually disagree with the judges. This I've understood. This felt garden to me. Like
Country
it felt like a big
garden-esque.
flower. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was that off key, but it just was gross. Like the color scheme was terrible.
I hated this. I thought this
Ah,
again, this is the thing where when you want to talk about if something is costumey or not, this is the epitome of fucking
yeah.
costumey. This just feels like you were a
Mhm.
leaf on a tree in some school production of some other shit. Like, and you could talk about some of the more stylic elements of it or whatever, but like, fuck, dude, it is. I'm over it. I'm so done. I'm so done with her. I'm just so done with everything. I'm just yeah. I did not like.
So, I remember the critiques at all, except that they were really tough on Terrace, and they were nicer to Skrillex than I thought they would be, and they were a little tough on Elle, and Elle seemed not shook, that's the wrong word. She seemed a little
Yeah.
surprised, and also
Yeah.
I was surprised, but I also think they're finally telegraphing to everyone, don't worry, we're not going to crown Elle. Um, even though you know what? I'm starting to wonder if she started as a Rue favorite, and as the more of the season went on, Rue maybe got
Kind
less
of cooled
interested
on
in
it a
her.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of curious. Do you remember any other things from the critiques?
I tried. Let me pull up my list. I don't think I had anything else major. Yeah, I didn't really have anything else major on here. It's just It really only until we got into the workroom, and then that's when I noted that there was just like no immediate chemistry between these girls.
Yeah.
There's just nothing really connecting at least this top five together, which was just kind of surprising to me because it's like even then, like because there's no front runner, because there's no clear Lavoie, Chiron dynamic in which like I work from completely different worlds, but I see you, I get you. Like there's none of that. It's just like five people competing in a vacuum, and that's why again, not to be that guy, but reminds me of season five all over again when it's just you have Michael,
Michael Maruli.
Michael Maruli, and you have Tamara, and you have Ginger Johnson. You have these queens all together that, like, in theory, work together, but like it doesn't feel the same, connection over there. So it just kind of it highlights for me the issues
Oh,
that we've
that's
just
weird.
seen with the season. Yeah.
That's funny. I would have actually thought that season had a better chemistry than the one before. I didn't think Crystal, Ella, and Kitty Scott Claus had good chemistry.
Oh, at all?
They,
Yeah. No, that's
but
fair. Yeah.
I actually thought that who was the queen who went home fourth before Michael and was then got really mad that they went home, but they were another professional queen on UK before my. So it was
That wasn't Tamara,
no,
or am I
tomorrow
thinking?
was top three. But it
Okay,
was that season. There was the queen who was very like Michael Maruli. Like they were very similar, and I'm trying to remember who it was.
not Kate Butch.
No,
Uh,
no. Kate went home fifth. Uh,
yes.
oh
Sorry,
my
and I'm
God,
thinking of
who
the
is
wrong
this
season too.
queen?
It's
You
gonna
know what?
try. I'm pulling it up right now. Tamara Thomas,
Yeah.
Dee Licious, Kate Butch, Carrot. Yeah, those were the
Oh,
top.
it was Dee Dee. Dee Dee went home
Dude,
four, right?
yes, that's
Dee Dee
correct.
was top four. So they had chemistry when Dee Dee was there. And
Hmm.
then when Dee Dee went away, it sort of fell apart. But there was the other queen on that season. I actually thought that season, anyway, we're going down a
Vicky
rabbit hole, but
Vivacious.
Vicky Vivacious. Because
Yeah.
remember, people thought Vicky Vivacious was going to make it to the top three and didn't. Because Vicky and Michael were like interchangeable. And then Vicky was bitter as fuck that she went home when she did. But, by the way, also a very similar page three run. People thought Vicky was going to win. Boy, it's
Hmm.
almost like they're doing the same storylines every season. Wow. Figuring it out.
Just saying.
So anyway, they come back out on the stage and Bones wins. Elle Vosque seems, I don't want to, I wrote the word pissed. She probably didn't look pissed, but she seemed not thrilled that she didn't win. I think she thought she
Hmm.
had a chance to win, but she did make it to the finale. Bones wins again. Skrillex is safe. And now that I've thought about it more, clearly Skrillex is safe because of the runway, which they loved. And that put her ahead of the bottom two, which is Tyrus versus Catrin. And to be honest, the producers couldn't have like rigged this if they wanted to. Like Catrin really bombed, and Tyrus was either going to be in the bottom or going to be low. So this was not producer shenanigans that the couple got to go against each other. It just happened.
Hmm.
Um, so this was my thought. I don't remember what this song was. Did you happen to pull it up by any chance or make a
Oh,
note?
you mean this incredible "Mama Knows Best" by Jessie J? Only one of the worst fucking songs I've ever heard. It was like just the production was bad,
Yeah,
dude.
it's
It
bad.
was not good. Uh,
But
this
but
Jesse J icon that you are for
yeah,
reasons.
so here's the thing though. If you were to just look at this in a vacuum, you would say the producers picked this song so Tayrus would win. This should have been Tayrus's bag.
Mm-hmm.
She should have killed this.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she blew it. The first half of this lip sync, her energy was completely off. She seemed, I don't want to say scared, but she seemed like almost startled, like unsure of how to go forward. And Catrin, this is not her tea. This is clearly not like a stuff that the song that I think is in her repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
But she was consistent the whole way and sort of like was giving it everything while Tayrus wasn't. And then about halfway through the lip sync, Tayrus woke up and it was too late. Like
Mm-hmm.
I saw when she woke up and she realized I really have to give it, and it was too late. That was my take on the lip sync. What did you think?
No, I think we're very similar minded over there. It's the thing where it's like my husband and I we watch a lot of K-pop dance practices, and one of the
Hmm.
things that he likes to use in terms of watching it, especially if it's like a good group versus an okay group, is attack. And it's just like when you have intentionality behind your moves versus just if you're kind of flailing a little bit there. And it's the kind of thing where, like, when you saw what Catrin was doing, she was hitting the note. She knew what she wanted to say with each moment or each part of it there. And meanwhile, with Tayrus, it was a little bit more wishy-washy, was a little bit more unsure. And even if she was presenting doing well, she didn't really have that same level of confidence either in the
Hmm.
material. Like, I didn't see anything wrong with the lip sync. I think they all knew the words, but just she didn't have that same oomph behind it there. So unfortunately, it's the kind of thing where I got to agree. I think Katrin walked away with this here, and I thought it was kind of unfortunate too because neither of these girls are going to win, but also. God, of course they're gonna do a fucking Katrin Taylor's lip sync. They're the lovers on here. Like, of course, every single time you're in a relationship on a Drag Race franchise, they're gonna make you lip sync in the bottom two at some point, and history has proven itself once again.
Once again, I will say that they helped them get here. Like these two queens like did not. This was not forced. Like they were bad
Yes.
this week. Um, I do have to say, so we I mean, was it clear to you that Katrin was going to win the lip sync? Was it pretty obvious? Would you have been
I think it
shocked if?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I when they announced that Katrin is safe, she's relieved. She goes away, and Tayrus is just emotionally
Devastated.
devastated. And I have to say, I am guessing. I think she was so shocked she was in the bottom. That's why she started off so badly in the lip sync that she thought, "Oh my God, they want to send me home." Like I think that's what her reaction to all this was, and that's why she was so emotional. Is she thought she didn't realize she could have won this. She could have stayed. And I think I feel bad for her because I'm guessing if she watches this that when she saw this episode, she probably realized, oh no, if I'd woken up and fought harder, I would have been in the top four and not Katrin. But I just want to say, this week, obviously, Tia Coffee actually just a couple days ago posted on the social media site that will not be named that the production of RuPaul's Drag Race needs to pay better attention to the South Asian queens, including maybe casting one, which it has not done, on the show. And it sort of speaks to a lot of the criticism this season about how the queens of color have been once again treated by the judging and by the series. I feel like anyone you talk to who has seriously watched the show would agree that, and I'm so embarrassed now I can't remember her name, uh, uh, the other London queen who is from Thailand,
Uh,
uh,
Chai Tea Grande.
Chai Tea Grand. Yes,
Yeah.
that Chai Tea should have gone longer, that she was not judged correctly. We've talked for multiple episodes that Tyrus was being graded on a curve that Bonnie and Katrin were not being graded on clearly. Um, I do feel bad for Tyrus. I will say though, I don't know if this is, I don't know if she was as robbed getting to the top four as say like Black Pepper was, or I'm trying to think. Taste made it, but did
So
Vanity didn't make top
No,
three?
Vanity was cut right before the finale too.
Right, yeah.
And
I don't think it's that. I don't think she's at that level of those queens, but I do feel like in the context of this competition, how she was judged was on such a curve that it was often unfair.
someone else online, because I was looking up some UK stuff earlier, made the very clear point of UK follows this tradition of odd number seasons having finales with all white contestants, and
Mm.
the even numbered ones have only one black queen who has bottomed at least three times, which is the thing where when you put it in that kind of context, it's just like. Yeah, yeah, that's not great. That is profoundly and deeply not great. And it's the kind of thing too. And I think we've talked about this before, where I've seen some criticisms too, where obviously Meatball, the beloved LA Queen, has gone multiple times against the Dragula Boulet Brothers production crew, talking about how you need to cast more queens of color, and then there are some
Hmm.
people that feel like that is they're being like forced into boxes that they don't want to be just in order to fulfill a quota. Like there's this whole like back and forth discussion as to what this means in terms of the show. Is the talent pool really that deprived? We don't think so. There's been some phenomenal queens who've been on this show before. So it's like, I think Caramel in another universe could have had a really, really good run on season five. Like it's
Hmm.
there's a lot of things that could have happened wrong, but to have these conversations and to call it out, yeah, unfortunately that is going to be a heavy factor. And unfortunately, my theory that the even numbered or the odd numbered seasons are just not as good. It continues. Like is this better than season three? Yes. Can anything be worse than Drag Race UK season three, Drag Race Thailand season three? But outside of that, like it's a very low bar to kind of fill. So I don't know, Greg. It's the thing as we will head into this finale. I'm just a little bit sad. And I will say though, with all that said, Terrace's exit line, as they like to say in the theater, blackout. I gagged a little bit. I gagged. I was like, that is so fucking
That
good.
was
Good
good.
on you, girl. Like I was stunned by that. Kudos to her, genuinely, for real.
I think the sad thing about this season is with a season that had very memorable queens like Paige Three and Chai T
Hmm.
Grand, who I just forgot her name, um, and even Bonnie winning Snatch Game. 12 months from now, I'm going to have to stop and try to remember who the top four of this UK season was.
Yep.
I will know Bones won. I will not forget that, and I will remember Elle was there barely.
Hmm.
But and by the way, we're assuming Bones. If Bones doesn't win, it is like burn the whole thing down. Like, why are
Yeah.
we even doing this? But I will not remember Skrillex. And I've had to come up with a fake name so I pronounce her name correctly. I've had to call her by a global DJ. And I will not remember that Catrin was there. Like, I
At
don't
all.
I don't want to see Catrin. No, Catrin, I wish you the best. I don't want to see you on a UK All Stars. I don't want to see you on
Hmm.
UK versus the World or Down Under versus the World. I just I don't get it. Like, and prove us wrong. Prove us
Yeah.
wrong, I guess, in the
I want you to
future.
have all the success in the world outside of my field of vision. That is
Yes,
truly.
exactly. But it's sort of crazy. But at least it's coming to a merciful end before we have to endure versus the
Are we
world.
gonna get a reunion episode, Greg?
No, there's no reunion. BBC ain't paying for that shit. No, this is coming to an end.
Oh,
Next
thank
week,
goodness.
they already
With
asked us,
Kyron
are
Thrax
you
back in the workroom. Thank God. I know.
By
Yeah.
the way, we're about to enter the week of will they or they won't they post the Insta post for Team Bones, Team L,
I'm so
Team.
fucking curious. I was looking that up earlier. I was hoping to see some results. Nothing yet, but I can't
Nope,
wait.
they
I
haven't done
can't
it.
wait.
I
Can't
don't know
wait.
if they really will. Let's see. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you all for joining us. Once again, subscribe, share, give us a review, tell us your comments. Should there be a UK All Stars or do you want to see another UK versus the world again? Tell us in the comments. We want to know. And also, as we have mentioned previously and in our Spaniard coverage, we are also covering Drag Race Canada, Canada's Drag Race Season 7, which is fantastic. Please join us for that. We will have more coverage, especially on UK Season 18, which the Meet the Queens is dropping imminently, and it will be back on your TV screens before you know it. And who knows, we might even pop in other episodes and talk about how Monet's doing on Traders. Also, we're on here in the US. If you're a fan of Ellen Carr, they just dropped in a binge format all of the episodes of Traders UK Celebrity, and check it out. He's on it. There's a lot of gay and queer icons on that season. People loved that season. It was a huge hit in the BBC, and you don't have to wait every week and just binge it over the Thanksgiving holiday.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear. Absolutely. And to Greg, as always, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what I say. We run this podcast, and I think we always will going forward, truth be told. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you at the finale next week, everybody. Take care. Goodbye.